Alright, today we're gonna go visit PhD.
About to get fame like them in the grip grain. Drip paint, but I ain't gotta switch the lane. I'm on the fast track, catch that, board the fat stash. Couldn't match that if you had the whole NASDAQ.
And check out PhD's house and his little kid and his little doggy. And it is raining crazy out here. If you look out there, we're down by the Galleria and we still gotta get to downtown. And I only have 2 minutes to get there. So hopefully he's cool with us coming just a tad bit later, and hopefully you enjoy it.
All right, we are here to grab our goodies and let's go see. All right, Save, follow me.
Yep.
About to get fame like them in the grip grain. Drip paint, but I ain't gotta switch the lane. I'm on the fast track, catch that, board the fat stash. Couldn't match that if you had the whole NASDAQ. Crash in your NASDAQ.
But take your time. Yeah, if I could. Yeah,
Whoa. So where did you get your PhD from?
that was Briar.
Briar? Are you serious? No.
Yeah.
How funny.
That was I remember he came to the party. He's like, you should call yourself PhD. That's short for Phil Dog. Because back then, remember everybody was a dog.
Yeah.
C Dog, T Dog. He was just like, yeah, it's short for Phil Dog, and you'd be dropping knowledge. So
I wanted you to tell us how you got hooked up with Zoo York.
Zoo was through Anthony.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, because Ricky came through that one time. He stayed like a month here.
Loyola?
Yeah,
Oh.
he came and so at that point in time, I think that's when Anthony got hooked up on Zoo.
Yeah.
And
So who was hooked up with Zoo first, Anthony or Artie?
Anthony.
Anthony, for real?
Yeah.
Okay. But
At that time,
yeah.
Artie was still down here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so Anthony got on Zoo, and I got on Empire,
For real?
which was the wheel company that Zoo
Right.
was doing.
Yeah.
So I got hooked up with them, and at that time, after Empire, or no, about the same time as Empire, I got hooked up with Brooklyn Boards. I can't even remember how I got on there. It was Tri-State first. I was on Tri-State, and then Brooklyn Boards, which are kind of like the two companies out of the same warehouse. And then
Was Five Borough around then?
no Five Borough then. And so it was Tri-State to Brooklyn Boards, and then from Brooklyn Boards, basically, I remember at the trade show in San Diego, that's when Rodney was like, yeah, let's put him on.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, and so I was like, fuck it, yeah, I quit Brooklyn. Called them that day, I think, and it was just like, yeah, man, I'm gonna go to Zoo. And that dude was like, no, not Zoo.
Yeah.
Because he didn't really like Zoo.
Oh
He
yeah?
didn't get
Oh,
along
they
with
weren't.
those guys.
They weren't buddies.
No.
Are you serious? I see. I didn't know all that history with like that whole thing
Yeah.
because like at one time it seemed like there was more Houston guys
On Zoo, right? I know.
than
Hugh York.
yeah. Kind of thinking about like your parents' old house,
Yeah.
and I was like, that was like the Houston version of the kids movie.
Right, it basically
I mean,
was, yeah.
Almost every time I was there, it was just going off with a bunch of little 15, 16-year-old boys.
Yeah, it was pretty wild.
It was nuts. And then you also had a dog that was similar to that dog.
Yeah,
a little
Guy.
Boston Terrier.
Guy, yeah.
And I remember one night, I think I woke up in the morning time. I don't know. Did your grandma live with you there?
Yeah.
I want to say I woke up in your grandma's bed. But it wasn't uncommon. Like for people like to be just everywhere, and that dog was just like laying right on my lap.
Yeah, that was, it was wild, man.
What I was saying about your house being like the kids version of Houston.
Yeah.
And there had been times that you actually had half of the cast there. Because I remember Harold being there.
Yeah. Jeff was there.
Jeff Pang. And there was a couple other guys too.
It was the Zoo guys. I mean, you know, Harold, Danny, Jeff, Todd. I mean, really, Harold was the star. He was awesome, man. I was just, Dave Ortiz was the team manager for Zoo at the time. And he's always posting on like Facebook and Twitter. And he just started posting, like, because he's always said, like, oh, he's got like a million quotes from Harold that he was going to be, you know, make a book one day. And I don't know if the book ever came to fruition, but he just started posting those quotes. They're pretty awesome.
How did you get hooked up with the Thrasher inlay cover? Because remember you were on that Thrasher video game.
Oh yeah, I have no idea really how that came about. That just kind of happened.
Did you get paid for that?
No.
You did? You did?
No.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I don't remember getting paid. If I did, it was gone quick.
I don't know if you were one of them kids that were just like really good at skateboarding, and then it just got boring to you or what? Because there just became a time when I would see you, it just seemed like you were more into maybe trying to make music.
Yeah, I think there was, in skating, like there was basically, like the last 2 years I was sponsored and really trying to do stuff, I kind of had a degenerative knee.
Oh yeah?
So it was like I couldn't really do a lot, you know. Sometimes I would just bend down to pop, you know, just to pop an ollie, and it would just like kill me, you know, like arthritic.
So you knew you had to think about something else?
Yeah, well, plus, you know, I'll be taking it easy, and when you're taking it easy and not just going balls out, you lose shit, you know, and it's like, all right, you know, or you're not progressing like you need to while everybody else is, you know. So yeah, I mean, pretty much I was just like, you know, and the whole time I wrote and everything too. I was rapping, you know what I mean? Just like, I mean, even when we were on tour with Zoo, you know, you can ask them dudes. Like I was just steady in the back of the van, just writing, and you know, that's just what I did since I was 15. You know, back at Boogie's.
Were you the best rapper out of the team?
Oh, on the team? Yeah, definitely. Like no one else really messed with it, you know.
Right.
Harold would, you know, he would fuck around, and he at that time he was all on 50's nuts. I remember he was just like, put on 50.
Yeah.
It was either 50 or Woo, you know what I mean? I remember that, yeah. So he was awesome though. I mean, he would freestyle, you know what I mean, in the van. He would just be messing around, you know.
I remember some little freestyle circles at Jay's house, and he was there, and he was rapping, and it was more like what he was saying was so hilarious.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with rhyme schemes or patterns or nothing like that. You know, it was just like just wilding out.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. And I take it, I guess your dog is named after him.
After Harold, yeah. Well, that was Anthony's idea.
All right, how much do you write?
How much do I write?
Yeah.
Depends on if we have something going on, you know, like if we're working on a project. Probably these days, you know, baby in tow and everything, not as much as I used to, but you know, just whenever. I probably write daily. I don't write full songs, you know, daily, but I mean daily. Like if I just come up with one line, I'm like, all right, I'll save that somewhere, you know. I write on Evernote, which I have it on my phone and on my computers. The good thing about it is like you'll store we'll say we have an MP3 of a track that we're working on or whatever. We just upload it, and Brew has access to all my stuff, and so like, you know, you can listen to the same beat, you know what I mean, and he can write to it, you know what I mean. So you can basically open up the note and read while the beat's playing, you know, and just be like, oh, okay, I see what he's doing. So. You know, that's how we usually write and everything. And I have no problem with writing, you know what I mean? I got some pretty good handwriting out of it, you know what I mean? But I've lost so many notebooks, you know. That's what's like, you know. So I've lost so much, and it's like, you know, with this way, it's there, you know. And it's accessible from anywhere, you know. So I don't have to hold a pad, because sometimes when you're in the booth or whatever, and you're holding paper or pad, it crinkles, and you can hear that. Yeah. So you know, to have a phone right there, it's just, you know, quiet, and you can read it.
So I guess you've managed. He's almost a year old, and it definitely when you have a kid and you're somewhat creative, you have to kind of like compromise your time with your creating time. And I can see like how a lot of people that might have had like some sort of goal, it kind of gets put on the back burner. Yeah. And if you're real persistent, if you really want to do something, you have to be able to manage, like the baby's not going to go away.
Yeah, absolutely.
And your wife's not going to go away. Yeah. And the wife's another thing, you know. I mean, you have to spend time with her without being too selfish, but you can't be not selfish enough for yourself or you're not creating. Yeah. So how have you managed, when do you get time to create?
Well, you know, it's like I told you, I'm a realtor, you know, so it's like my schedule, I kind of get to plan my own schedule. So I try to like take time out of most days to work on some kind of music, but it'd be practicing guitar, keys, writing, you know, anything. So usually it's like I'll take him to school, and then you know, I'll spend the morning going through emails and just kind of brainstorming about what I want to work on that day, and then I'll spend an hour or two working on music, and then you know, clean the house. And that's on a down day, you know. Most days I'm out showing houses or this or that, but even when I'm doing that, you know, I'll be listening to a track, and if I come up with a line, I'll just, you know, jot it down real quick in Evernote. So it's like you have to find time to do it, you know.
Definitely.
You know, that's really the reason too why I chose to be a realtor. You know, I was like, you know, I worked for the same company for 13 years. You know what I mean? Doing the same thing 9 to 5, and you know, eventually it was, you know, from 6 to 8 at night. You know, they're 12, 14 hours a day sometimes, and it's like, all right, you know, that's not what I wanted to do. So while I was still doing that, I got my realtor's license, and I kind of started practicing, building up a clientele, because I knew that, you know, this is what I wanted to do. You know, just because of, you know, money's good, you set your own schedule, you don't have a boss. That's the thing too, is, you know, I thought it was a good time to get into it, because we're all at the age where either we're buying houses or about to, or we're on our second house. And it's like, yeah, there's not a lot of realtors that in our group, you know what I mean? So I'm like, all right, you know, I can be that. And that's also, it goes hand in hand with music too, being in front of people, you know. But then I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm a realtor too, you know. And they're like, oh, fuck, I'm gonna use you. I like your music. I'm gonna go through you. And that's, you know, it's like you can have a backup plan, you know, like you said, or you can have a plan with multiple parts, you know what I mean?
Right.
So that they all coincide, and you know, what's the word I'm looking for? There's a synergy, you know? So it's like, you know, this feeds that, and that feeds this, you know? So you've got, like, say 3 things going on, you know? It's like your family, you know, like Natalie knew right away, you know, that I was a musician, that I would be doing music, you know what I mean? That was it. So that's, you know, she's got that expectation is there. Yeah. So I get to make music, and then music also, you know, that fandom, you know, branches off and says, all right, you know, I get, you know, real estate business through that as well. And then real estate in turn, you know, pays me, and, you know, happy life, happy wife. You know?
Happy wife is happy life. So how did you get hooked up with Lower Life Form, man?
Well, that, you know, I'm one of the founders of the group. It was just me and Ish, but that was through Fred.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
What, with Mr. Ish?
Yeah, so Fred knew Ish from going to the Wax Museum. Yeah. So Fred met Ish up there, and or wherever they met, he knew Ish. And then, so he introduced us. Yeah. And that was after, you know, I came back from New Jersey and everything.
From Red Banks?
From Red Bank, yeah. And basically right after that, we got together. Ish had some beats in his car. I went, you know, just, you know, freestyle some shit for him, and, you know, just, you know, how it was back then, you know, that's just what it did. You jumped in ciphers, you know what I mean? You used to go to, what was that? I can't remember. It was there's Fitzgerald's downstairs, whatever it was called, Reprogram. Yeah, so we would go there and just get those Mickey bombs, and just, you know, it was cool back then. Everybody was just jumping off, you know, freestyle after freestyle, and, you know, that's just how it works. You know, that's how you got out there. Nowadays, it seems a little bit different. You know, everybody was a little more hungry back then and less entitled. You know what I mean? Everybody was willing to work and, you know, go battle for what they were getting, you know?
And it's funny, like, that you and a lot of the skateboarders were like a big part of the hip hop in Houston, you know? It's just nuts that, like, there is so much history, like, in Houston.
Yeah.
What are your plans, like, say, in the next 5-10 years with music?
You know, it's like I've been trying to, it's like we have, you know, we're a live band and everything, and we, you know,
full on live band?
It's like me and Brew are the 2 MCs. We have Eggy on the drums. We have Scott Butcher on the bass and synth. We have the guy Drew that plays keys. We have, we're kind of going through some transitions, but John Durbin on trumpet, Corey on sax, and you know, so we're checking out guitarists right now as well. So yeah, it's a cool band.
That's sick. So 5 to 10 years from now, are you guys? So
that's where we are now. I think in 5 to 10 years, like, you know, I've been learning to play guitar. You know, I've been making beats forever. You know, as long as I've been in Lower Life Form, I've been making beats. So I do that, you know, and I just want to kind of expand on all that. You know, I mean, I want to learn how to play guitar better. I want to learn how to make different beats. I want to learn how to make different music too, not just hip hop. You know what I mean?
Oh,
I want to play, rock stuff. I just want to learn.
Yeah.
I just want to learn to play all kinds of music.
As far as your definition, what would you consider as making it? Would you consider yourself already making it?
No.
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 There's still more.
Yeah, there's tons out there. It's like I want to. Making it means that I've, played like Jay-Z made it.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Until you hit that mark, you know what I mean? If that's the mark,
Yeah.
then if you're halfway there, some would say you're doing amazing,
Right.
but you haven't made it.
Okay, so your goals are like way up here, right?
Yeah,
you're still shooting for it.
Absolutely. I always, I'm like every resume I've ever filled, every application I've ever filled out, that's what I put. What's your desired salary? I'm like, I want $1 million an hour.
You actually put that?
Every time, yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Because you're shooting for something. They can laugh at it, but you can say, what? I told you I want $1 million an hour.
Yeah.
So if I ask for $100 an hour, don't get mad. You know what I mean? I told you up front what I want.
That's what you want.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, that's kind of that. See, this is perfect. This is exactly why I wanted to talk to you, because if someone else, if myself, and just me only, if you can affect only like one person to do something else better.
Yeah, I mean, there's, you bring that up. While I say, oh yeah, I want to be Jay-Z. That at the same time, if you affect just one person, you've made it. You know what I mean? So it depends. You know what I mean? So it works. But for my own gratification, I want to hear a sold out crowd. Just screaming when we come on stage. You know what I mean? I would love. That would just be like.
What's the biggest show that you play?
I mean, we played some good shows, like it fits. Like opening up for a Cashmere Stage Band. Those were good shows. But we played shit. We opened up for Devin at South by Southwest.
Oh yeah,
that was like crazy.
Oh, you have played South by Southwest?
Yeah, we played like 3 times.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
So do you guys have an agent, or
we don't have an agent? No.
So how do you shop for shows and stuff?
It's hard, man. That's kind of where we are right now. It's like I'm just trying to what I was just doing was looking up Dallas artists. Trying to find like-minded people like us that I can set up swaps with, basically like say, okay, here's this Dallas, this group of Dallas artists, and like say, we get a venue in Dallas and we say, hey, we want to set up a monthly show swap with Dallas, Austin, and Houston. So basically, I want to set it up so I can kind of like say get a Houston act, Chaotix, let's call it Chaotix, okay, and we get an Austin act. Whoever, Crew 5-4. Then we get some Dallas act. I don't know a lot of Dallas acts, but so we find a venue in Austin, a venue in Dallas, and a venue in Houston, and tell them we want to do a monthly. What we do is get these 3 acts together. So the Houston act, they'll be the home crowd, in Houston, so they can headline there.
Right.
But this Dallas and Austin act get to open. Right. Then the next night we go to Austin act headlines. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you're also they're pulling in that crowd. From whatever city.
But it gives these other cities some exposure in that city. So I'm working to get that. Trying to line some of that stuff up. Because I mean it's hard, dude. I mean there's like all these acts that I feel are like subpar. You know what I mean? Right. To what we do. And they're like, they're on, the Free Press. You catch them in all these festivals, the Untapped Festival. Everywhere that you look, you see these same acts, and you're like, why the hell are they getting booked? Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's because they have an agent.
For real.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess different things.
Like these people that book these festivals, these promotions companies, they don't even talk to an individual band. They're like, I go through this booking.
Their agent actually is pushing. Like for artists, like that actually paint and stuff like that. A lot of the big name people will take an agent or a manager, but you're also paying them sometimes like 50% of your income, and so then it almost becomes like a balance of. Is it worth paying this or taking a smaller job or something like that? And it might be a little bit different with like actually trying to sell artwork.
No, I mean it's the same. You have to balance it out. You're saying, all right, if I can make $1,000 on my own, and this guy can make me $2,000, but take half of it, I'm still making $1,000, but I'm being seen by a lot more people.
That's true. Yeah.
That potential is there to make more.
Right. So can you get your music off of iTunes? Do you put your stuff up?
Yeah, it's on iTunes.
So what is that under? PhD or lower life?
Lower life form.
Where can people find you on the internet? Twitter, Facebook?
We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Reverb Nation. We're on SoundCloud. We're on Bandcamp. You can purchase there. I think right now we have to set it up for a certain amount of free downloads. So, and all the new albums will be on that stuff.
So what album are you up to? Like, how many albums have you made?
Let's see, 4 right now. So
with
four released, and then we're about to release another 2.
You have a studio, and
we recorded this album that we're about to come out with. We recorded it at Wire Road over on 19th Street. They have a big studio.
What would you tell the 20-year-old Philip Vaughn if you could give him any advice?
I would just say, keep doing what you're doing, but just do it harder.
I mean, you didn't do too bad, man. Look at your place. You did, I mean, if this is as good as it gets.
I'm doing all right. I mean, you know,
yeah.
Keep aiming for the stars, you know.
All right, hell yeah, dude. One last little bonus question: would you consider skateboarding a martial art?
Yeah. I mean, I could totally see that, skateboarding as a martial art. I've often thought of it as like ballet.
Skateboard ballet?
Yeah, I think it's performance art for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you got the whole.
I don't think of it as a sport, but I mean, just the act of it. I mean, I don't think it's a sport. They have the leagues or whatever it's called. I don't know, street league and all that stuff. And any competition, I mean, even though they've had competitions for skateboarding since the beginning of skateboarding, and they make it a competition. I'm just like, skateboarders didn't care about it. Every time I entered a contest, it was like, let's just go skate. I never won a contest.
Hey man, I really appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
Of course, homie.
Hell yeah. All right, man. That was sick, dude.
I'm glad we got it done.
Hey everybody. I hope you enjoyed this interview with PhD from the Lower Life Form. If you want to support PhD, go buy his album off of iTunes. You can get this album right now off of iTunes. It's not that much money. You can afford to spend it. Go on, show your support. They are also about to drop another album, I believe, here in a few weeks. And go check him out on what he said, his Facebook, Twitter, his Instagram. And share this. If you enjoyed this interview, let me know. Leave a comment and you want to see more interviews. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. You can also purchase the first Rad World t-shirt. And it only ships to people in the USA. Also, I'd like to say thank you to PhD for letting me in his home and having a little chat with him for a little bit. Be on the lookout for more interviews and tell everyone you know about it. Go check us out. Hope you enjoy. Later.